Hello, testing. Oh, hello. Hold on one sec. And we are live. Out. Man, I feel like I'm pretty close to the screen. Also, that glare over there is pretty crazy. Not sure why it's so bad. I wish I had like a thing I could block out. There's a window like right here. I wish I could block it out with something. Common sense would say a blanket or a towel, but I don't know. Yeah, what's up? It is a beautiful Monday, President's Day today, and I don't typically stream on Mondays, but here we are. I don't believe this is going to be a very long stream, but still, I wanted to stream anyway because I like it. Actually, let me go ahead. Wait, there's actually a couple things I have to do. Oh my god, I hate my phone. Oh god, it's unplugged. No wonder it wasn't working. Hold on one second. I gotta unplug this. Okay. Alright, hold on one sec. Go ahead and plug this bad boy in. Wrap it around like so. Okay, cool. We Gucci. Okay. And I probably should announce the fact I'm streaming. That would make sense. Let's see here. Oops. Okay. Cool beans. Okay. Let me take a sip of water. You guys should be able to see my screen. Or, sorry, not saying my screen. You should be able to hear me pretty well. I noticed in the last stream it was a little quiet. So yeah, that should be fine, or dandy. Let's see. Cancel that. Yeah, I want to have chat up here. Okay, yeah, I needed that right there. Cool. Alright, yeah. So howdy again. A couple things, I guess, to talk about. I don't know. I saw recently that Jimmy Carter was placed in hospice. Jimmy Carter's in hospice. The oldest living president right now, or rather the oldest, the oldest living president. I guess let's just take a quick look at his presidency, but he's in hospice. This guy has, Jesus Christ, he is almost 100 years old. I I definitely didn't. I knew he was old, but like I didn't know he was that old. Yeah. So if we look at his like presidency in a nutshell, maybe he was raised in Georgia, served in the United States Naval Academy. Interesting. He was a dark horse candidate. He was not well known. Wow, seriously. He was not well known. Hold on. Not well known outside of Georgia, but he won the 1976 presidential nomination for the Democratic Party and barely beat Gerald Ford, excuse me. On his second day as president, he pardoned all Vietnam War draft evaders. That's good. During his presidency, the United States Department of Energy, Department of Education were established. That's also good, I think. He created a national energy policy that included conservation, price control, and new technology. Carter pursued the Camp David Accords, the Panama Canal treaties, and the second round of strategic arms limitation talks. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what any of this is. The Camp David Accord. I've heard of this, I just don't know what it is. Were a pair of political agreements signed by the Egyptian President Anwar Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister. Okay. Following 12 days of secret negotiations at Camp David, the country retreat of the President of the United States of Maryland, the two framework agreements were signed at the White House and were witnessed by President Jimmy Carter. There was a peace deal in 1979 between Israel and Egypt. Dude, my history is lacking here. Because the schism, I really hate the fact that this thing keeps breaking up. The schism between Egypt and Israel, I can't necessarily speak to it as far as what it looked like in 1979. Carter's and the Secret Service. Okay, well, basically he oversaw this. Okay, cool. I don't want to get down too much of a rabbit hole. Panama Canal treaties. They were signed, which superseded the Hague Treaty of 1903. The treaties guaranteed Panama regained control of the Panama Canal to 1999, ending the control. Ending the control of the canal that the U.S. had exercised since 1903. This seems also good, I think. Pretty sure. The next day, January 10th, Panama broke off diplomatic relations with the United States, and on January 19th, President Panama Roberto Chirari declared that Panama would not reestablish diplomatic ties with the United States until the U.S. agreed to begin negotiations on a new treaty. The first steps in the direction were taken shortly thereafter, on the 3rd of April 1964, when both countries agreed to an immediate resumption of diplomatic relations with the United States, agreed to adopt procedures for the elimination of the causes of conflict between the two countries. Okay. After the failure of those treaties, Panama experienced a change in the government, following a 1968 military coup. Sorry. So, a military coup. Yeah, I feel like if I dig into this, I'm gonna find some sussy things with the United States and their involvement regarding this military coup. The new government was consolidated under Omar, who decided to definitively reject the 1967 treaty. Wow. The response to a lack of progress in negotiations with the Nixon administration. The diplomatic debacle also attracted Henry Kissinger's attention and helped produce a momentum. Okay, what's the Carter administration's? I want to bring this back to Jimmy Carter. Made a canal a high priority, staying during the transition. The issue has been highlighted by a Blue Ribbon Commission headed by Ambassador Sol Linowitz. Several individuals associated with that commission would played major roles in the Carter administration's Latin American policy, including Leibniz himself and some other people. Cool. Negotiations were resumed on the 15th of February 1977 and were completed by the August 10th of that year. On the American side of negotiations, okay, cool. So basically, they gave control back of the canal to Panama. Cool. A few days before final agreement of the treaties were reached, President Jimmy Carter has sent a telegram to all members of Congress informing them of the status of the negotiations and asking them to withhold judgment of the treaty until they had an opportunity to carefully study it. There's a lot of historical context here I think that's missing. Oh, not missing in terms of what's mentioned here, but in terms of my understanding. Okay. Alright then. Cool. So he oversaw that shit. He also confronted stagflation. Ooh. I love stagflation. The end of his presidency was marked by 1979 to 1981 Iran hostage crisis, the 1979 energy crisis, and the 3 Mile Island accident. Ooh. But I don't understand how this is necessarily an indictment upon him. I guess this is just highlighting what's taking place around the time that he left office. The 3 Mile Island accident isn't like an indictment upon him. That seemed more of an indictment upon the local municipalities and state governments as opposed to like the federal government. The Nicaraguan Revolution. Oh my god. Encompassed the rising opposition of the Somoza dictatorship in the 1960s and 70s. Oh my god, dude, there's so much shit. Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. Yeah, I'm cognizant of this, but there's a lot of, I guess cool would be an inappropriate term to use, but there's a lot of interesting history shit that you can just learn about online. Isn't that amazing? Like, as far as technology is concerned, just being able to look shit up, either through Wikipedia or whatever other means, just learning shit. I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool. But there's just so much shit to learn. My God. I didn't know I don't really know that much about this. So much historical context. In response to the invasion, he escalated the Cold War when he ended Detente, imposed a grain embargo against the Soviets, enunciated the Carter Doctrine. What the fuck is this? Was a policy proclaimed by President of the United States Jimmy Carter in his State of the Union address on the 23rd of January 1980, which stated that the United States would use military forces necessary to defend its national interests in the Persian Gulf. Ooh. I'm sure that's not going to have it. I'm sure that didn't have any long-term effects. Yeah, so I think a big highlight of this man's political career, we can really get into the weeds if we wanted to here, but there was an energy crisis taking place in the 1970s in the United States when he took office. He encouraged energy conservation to install solar water heating panels in the White House. Excuse me. He wore sweaters and wait, what? He wore sweaters to offset turning down the heat in the White House. Dude, what a saint! Oh my god. This man's wearing sweaters like nobody ever thought of that. Department of Energy Organization Act of 1977. That sounds pretty important to me. Isn't exactly. Oh, so he established the agency. Okay. Forming the Department of Energy, the first new cabinet position in 11 years. Carter boasted that the House of Representatives had adopted almost all of the energy proposals he had made 5 months prior, and called the compromise a turning point to establishing a comprehensive energy program. The following month, okay. So energy shit was a big part of his domestic policy, I guess. He delivered an address in which he stressed the urgency of energy conservation and increasing domestic production of energy sources such as coal and solar. Okay. He stressed that it's imperative the House Commerce Committee approved the standby gasoline rationing plan and called on Congress to pass the several other standby energy conservation plans he had proposed. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, so there's okay, yeah, cool. Poor relations with Congress. He typically refused to conform to Washington's rules. He avoided phone calls from members of Congress and verbally insulted them. Based. He was unwilling to return political favors. His negativity led to frustration in passing legislation. During the press conference, Carter stated that it was inevitable that he would come into conflict with Congress, and added that he had found a growing sense of cooperation with Congress and met in the past with congressional members of both parties. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's good, I guess. The economy... Carter's presidency has troubled economic history. The first 2 years were a time of changing recovery from the severe 1973-75 recession. Okay. His last 2 years were marked by double-digit inflation coupled with very high interest rates, oil shortages, and slow economic growth. This is weird. Why... Oh, wait, hold on. I think I'm getting this backwards. So... If I'm remembering correctly, stagflation is means that unemployment and inflation are increasing or moving in the same direction, which is super rare, by the way. I think the Phillips curve describes this phenomena as inflation and unemployment having inverse relationships. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head right now. I'm thinking out loud. Yeah, you know what? I may as well just look it up. Inflation rate is high or increasing. The economic growth slows, and unemployment is steadily high. Oh, I didn't know that economic growth was a component to the equation here. I just thought it was unemployment and inflation. Okay, so unemployment goes up. Okay, got it. Okay. So it's not even talking about the direction, it's just specifically stating inflation and unemployment going up. By the way, this is uncommon for inflation and unemployment to rise at the same time. Again, the Phillips curve, dictates the opposite, which is more common. It's not like it's impossible or anything, but most of the time, inflation going up, there's like an inverse relationship between that and unemployment. Okay. Anyway, the energy crisis is a big deal. Okay, basically, this guy was like, I don't know. There's a lot of foreign policy shit going on during his time as president. I was totally aware of the Iran hostage situation, and well, I wasn't like around then, but like, I mean, that was one of the things I remember as far as like what his presidency was defined as, which is unfortunate because this was like a really low point of his presidency, which also happened to be near the end of his presidency. Yeah. I think some of the things that characterized Jimmy Carter back in the day was that he was a weak, ineffective leader, or like he couldn't like move his foreign policy was not that good, I guess, or he came off like more conciliatory towards the Eastern Bloc of nation states. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's probably true. There's a lot of shit here, man. And I don't feel like going through everything here. But basically, his foreign policy, as far as I'm concerned, didn't seem that good. I know the economy... I don't know. I don't know how much of this is a direct cause of Jimmy himself versus the fact that it would have happened to any president under the same circumstances, right? It's not like the president can directly, control whether stagflation takes place, right? Anyway, yeah, this guy is on his deathbed, and I only wanted to look at his presidency because I was kind of unaware of like exactly what the nature of it was. But I do understand that he has done a lot of shit in his time outside of the presidency. He has done a lot of work for charities and hurricane relief. He is a volunteer for Habitat for Humanity. I also think he founded like a thing, the Carter something. I don't know. It's like a charity, I guess. But the guy is like super old. He's almost 100, right? So, this is interesting. Carter and Gerald Ford were compared in exit polls from the 1976 presidential election, which Carter won. Many voters still held Ford's pardon of Nixon against him. That's unsurprising to me. By comparison, Carter was viewed as a sincere, honest, and well-meaning Southerner. Carter began his term with a 66% approval rating. That seems kind of low. Because, right, like, when you're first well, I don't know, maybe it's not. But, like, I know when you're first elected, there's, like, a honeymoon phase for a president, and their approval rating is high. But isn't, like, I don't know, maybe 66 is, like, the median percent of, like, newly elected presidents? I don't know. Which had dropped to 34% approval by the time he left. This is, again, not surprising, given the fact on his way out, there was stagflation as well as the Iran hostage shit, so yeah. That makes sense. Anyway, this guy is gonna die soon. And I just wanted to make it clear that I think that his presidency wasn't, from my understanding, and the little bit that I've read here, I think that, like, this is an example, it's a very rare example of a president being, like, after they leave office, like, being, like, just a sincerely good person, and, I understand that, of course, every president within, every person who has become president of the United States specifically, has done a lot of shady shit. I guess that just comes with the territory of being the president of the United States. But I think that his work outside of the office has been pretty good, as far as I can see. Seems like a really, he's contributed a lot of good things to the world. And I don't want that to cheapen the bad things that took place during his own presidency, because he did not seem like a very good president. There were certainly things, obviously, there were certain things that he has done that were good, but I think for the most part, some of the things have been, I don't want to, like, have the good stuff that he did outside of his office, again, cheapen the things he did while in office. He's done a lot of good shit. He seems like a good person, but, like, again, there's a lot of bad things that took place during his presidency, which I think outweighs the good stuff that he did. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I would have to read a little bit more into this wiki page, like, specifically what he had done during his time in presidency, but, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, moving on here, I wanted to also look at, this thread, because apparently what's you know what? Oops. Let's see if there's any vids out here right now. Okay, okay, so there was this... Oh, boy. So there was this rally or something, in D.C., okay, called the Rage Against the War Machine, regarding the Ukraine-Russia war. The two parties that came together, I suppose, were the Libertarian Party and the People's Party. These are not a good combo here right off the bat. The People's Party is the People's Party, as far as I remember, was a party essentially comprised of like red-brown lefties, and the Libertarian Party is like the Libertarian Party. So that's like a sub party, I guess, of like the Conservative Party. But the premise, apparently, for this rally is to, I guess, end the war against Ukraine and Russia, or to bring awareness to the horrors of the war itself, or to, I don't know. I'm here to learn just like you guys, because I've been seeing this on the TL recently, and I'd like to learn a little more about the actual things that are taking place during this rally. So I guess let's look. Nick Brana is one of the two main organizers of the rally. He has a tendency to glorify Putin and parrot anti-Ukraine propaganda. By the way, this person I totally trust. Well, not totally trust, but like I trust this person based upon the information this person provides regarding, because they cover Jimmy Dore a lot, and they also expose the fact that Jimmy Dore really is it's like a conservative, which is true. So yeah, I'd like to learn a little bit here. Nick Brana. Yeah, so this person actually is okay. So because he's not only winning the war, he's uniting the world against American hegemony. So this kind of comes back. I think a common theme you'll see here, okay, amongst the speakers at this rally are that their entire political ideology orbits around like one really central thing, okay, one thesis. It's just American diabolism. It's the fact that America's bad always, every time, everything that is aligned with Western or American interest is by definition bad. We're not looking at outcomes here. We're not looking at consequentialism. We're looking at specifically if it is in alignment with American interests, then it is by default bad. That is the ideology adopted primarily by people like Jimmy Dore. Jackson Hinkle is the most egregious shill for Russia you can imagine. His Twitter timeline, his video streams are concentrated glorification of Putin and horrendous lies. Oh, do we have a video here?
This was the only thing, and he actually prevented more deaths. As of right now, who knows what's going to happen. If something crazy fucking happens, that happens, and, we can talk about it when we talk about it. But as of right now, 100,010% absolutely fucking totally stand with
What's he talking about?
in his decision to launch this special military operation. And actually, this was...
Oh, so he's, like, justifying the invasion of a sovereign nation. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not surprised that Hinkle showed up. Scott Ritter was kicked out of the... Oh, wait, I think I know this guy. Wasn't... Wait, his name sounds very familiar. Was kicked out of the rally, but not because he was overly pro-war, but for other reasons we'll go with it. I don't claim to be anti-war, never did. There are rabid dogs out there. We need Atticus Finches to shoot them. What the fuck? Oh my god. I do, however, object to the senseless shooting of healthy dogs. Ukraine is a rabid dog. Russia's Atticus Finch. Dude, you can't... What? Okay. Man, yeah, so... I like... How is Ukraine a rabid dog? What? Garland Nixon is a rally speaker who has repeatedly been kicked off Twitter for lying about Russia's war atrocities and lying about Ukraine. Who is this guy? Wait, this guy looks familiar too. Like, dude, this guy looks like JLP. Okay. What has he done? A wedding in Ukraine with the nation salute, nothing to say. Oh, okay, so like they're placating to the Nazi conspiracy theory. Got it. Yeah, no, so many people find this image from 2017. It's money is propaganda. Wait, so this is from not actually Ukraine, it's actually from, like, Russia? Huh. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. So it's not even, like, an indictment upon Ukraine. Oh, Jimmy Dore, I remember this guy.
So if you're against a war, I don't care what your feelings are about anything else. If Newt Gingrich is against a war, I want Newt Gingrich on that stage. If Donald Trump is against the war, I want him on that stage.
There's a lot of missing I don't think, like, this, I don't think context matters here, but, like, I don't know. I know Jimmy Dore pretty well as far as, like, the content he has produced. I've watched it, so I understand he's a propagandist. Max Blumenthal, yep. I also know this guy, too.
Yeah, they say the demonstration in Washington is opposed to a socialist and genuinely anti-war perspective. Everyone's like, this is not truly anti-war because, like, this guy said that, you know, Russia should win or whatever.
Yeah.
This is about stopping the U.S. war machine.
Yeah, again, and this is what I said from the top. It's about anything that can possibly be perceived as alignment with American interests or Western interests is by default bad. Even if the perpetrator of the violence was initiated by an Eastern country or an Eastern bloc of influence, like Russia. So, in spite of the fact that Russia started the war, this is irrelevant to the eyes of a red-brown lefty. To them, it's the fact that the war is inherently justified based upon the fact that it is serving to disinterest American hegemony. In spite of the fact American hegemony is already in some ways solidified, but also being challenged. Ukraine maintaining autonomy as a nation state isn't going to meaningfully further solidify American hegemony, the thing that these people cry about every day. Yeah, I don't know. Craig Pasta, what? Is that his name? What's this guy doing? Okay, I'll play since, you know, I wasn't accused of it. I don't necessarily agree with everything in that tweet. I do, however, respect the fact that Daniel is standing up for what he believes, despite what his party says. Most of the Putin pushback is about the military action, in which a lot of libertarians are against. Daniel disagrees. So do I don't like everything Putin does. I just feel he has a right to protect the sovereignty of his country. Oh, so he's, like, brain dead. Okay. The sovereignty of his country is not being threatened. And by, like, Russia, their sovereignty is not being threatened at all. Not even remotely, actually. The only reason there is munitions and aid being sent to Ukraine right now is because Russia invaded Ukraine. In fact, I think an argument could be made that Russia invading Ukraine has only further enhanced American influence upon the world in a way. Because, like, everybody sees that Ukraine is a victim in this situation. Everyone except for apparently these so-called lefties. And consequently, it's very easy to sympathize with the plight of a Ukrainian. Therefore, the aid being sent to Ukraine right now has only been more, I guess, viewed with favoritism as time progresses, because obviously they want to prevent themselves from being taken over by Russia. Yeah, I don't know. I think that this is really, like, this war has actually done the opposite thing that Russia wanted to do, because, didn't, like, Finland, like, agree to be involved in NATO, or like agree to be in NATO? So, like, yeah, I mean, like, more countries are joining NATO because they're not going to want to get fucked around with Russia, you know? So, I don't know. On a stream with Austria State Media employee Wyatt Reed, Craig... Okay, I don't care about that guy. Tara Reid. Ah, I remember her. Another explicitly pro... Tara Reid. I have no interest in calling you names. I would like to debate the issues because the views you represent are biased and xenophobic. It supports American imperialism and aggression that is causing less... Wait, it's supporting... American imperialism is when what? Wait, I'm sorry, I don't understand the context here. Russia is not the enemy. Putin is not the problem. Okay. What's this? I do not believe in the U.S. proxy war. Okay, anybody, by the way, anybody who says that what's taking place in Ukraine right now is a U.S. proxy war, you can immediately locate the nearest rock and throw it at their head, because this is blatant, like, this is like incorrect. It's not what a proxy war is. I also support Jackson, so I guess I simp for Putin too. Oh, so okay, at least she's being honest here. I believe NATO should be abolished. Ah, that makes sense. I believe the Russian president is acting in his best interest for his country. The best. So wait, hold on. Even if you adopted the framework of a red-brown lefty, this is a dumb thing to say, because, like I mentioned before, Russia initiating the war against Ukraine has actually done the opposite thing that Russia wanted, which is to prevent further NATO membership. This has only created more of a reason for countries to want to be a part of NATO by you invading countries and forcibly seizing territory. What else has they said? Debunking Western media lies on Bucha attack, 12 years. Ah, so now she's... Okay, so it's not enough that she has to be... So it's not enough that that she states that NATO should be abolished and that the war is completely justified. Also, she's denying the war crimes committed against Ukrainian citizens. Wow. I guess I should be surprised. Usually one thing carries the other. Oh, damn. Jordan Page is a prominent figure in the seditious Oath Keepers movement. Damn. Wait, this guy's... Wait, for real? They got this guy up? Wait, he's from the Oath Keepers? The Oath Keepers, the same group that were involved in the January 6th insurrection and also has repeatedly advocated for a civil war? Like, oh wow, okay. I guess we're anti-war. It's very anti-war, you guys. Yeah, bring him on. Okay, I don't care about that. Yeah, a lot of framing around this war by the red-brown lefties is that that the war was inevitable, that like Putin had to invade, which is of course not true, but it will nonetheless be parroted by people such as Jimmy Dore, Hinkle, and you know, the like. Here are 3 of the rally speakers appearing with a current Russia state media employee on a panel to promote the rally. Okay. Wait, I remember when this happened. They were starting to label people as Russia State affiliated media on Twitter, and all these people were like seething and coping over it. I know it's insane timing, but I will be moving to Moscow, Russia. This is really unsurprising, by the way, because Fiorella Isabel has always been like this, you know, like this tanky-ish person, and the fact that they're moving to Moscow, Russia, oh, and working with RT, by the way, is unsurprising, because, again, the whole idea, the central thing that comes back, that glues everything together here, is American diabolism. That's what it is. Everything's America bad. Everything comes back to it. Okay, what is... I don't care how much they're paid. I really don't. Oh, wait. Oh, that's how I remember this guy. So the Scott Ritter guy was like this was like a pedophile or something. He was convicted of pedophilia twice, I believe. And apparently that is the reason why he was kicked out of the rally.
Anyways, that's where we're at. They don't want me to speak at the rally because they're afraid of what I'm going to say. They don't want me to speak at the rally because it's not about anti-war. It's about empowering a certain political party, the Libertarian Party. They want to use the anti-war rally as a way of legitimizing themselves, mainstreaming themselves, but they want to make sure that only they get the credit. So they don't want someone like me to come in and speak and throw out ideas that they're not in control of. Nick Brana wanted me to give a speech about my book, about my mission to Russia, about trying to build bridges, to break down the walls of Russophobia, to put arms control back on the agenda, to make sure that the world doesn't end in a nuclear holocaust.
These are fears that I don't think are warranted. I really do not believe. See, this is something also trouted out a lot, like this fear that there's going to be a nuclear holocaust or something. I don't believe this at all. I think that in, any fear that, like, Russia threatens to nuke a country if somebody looks at it the wrong way, or I don't know. Like, there's really, like, no convincing evidence that Russia is seriously considering nuking, like, a country or whatever. There's certainly no evidence that any Western country would do so. But I really believe that there's just, like, fear-mongering.
And God bless Nick Brana. And his company invited me to support it. So they insisted that I be pulled from the, so they put me back on, but then they disinvited me again because of the attacks, twice convicted pedophile, kept me allowed to speak.
Yeah, that little thing that happened, that little oopsie daisy moment, yeah.
And I could have fought them. I actually was going to fight them. I was so mad. People look up New York defamation laws. There's 5 things you have to prove. All of them were proved except the 5th one, which is damage. You can't just assume damage. There has to be demonstrable damage. And if they kicked me off this platform, then we have demonstrable damage. And I owned the Libertarian Party. And I keep trying to tell them that.
All right, I'm bored. Dion Sayer is unhappy about Scott Rose's removal, and Jay Paris has disgusting lies about Ukraine. Oh, wait, is this like the guy? Oh, okay, I guess we got the mugshot and everything. Unlawful contact with a minor. Ooh, that's bad. Yikes. Okay. What else? Hinkle. Here's a compilation of his some anti-Ukraine. We already know his anti-Ukraine shit. Russia's SMO is a self-defense response to decades of escalatory warmongering waged by NATO. This is a very dishonest and inaccurate way of framing what's taking place. Warmongering by NATO is not when more countries request membership. That's not the same thing at all, actually. Supporting the SMO's anti-war, the mission statement of the operation is to literally prevent Ukraine from further escalating the West war. There's no war being waged by the West. The war was waged by Russia, and the West is providing aid to the country that is being invaded. So that's a more accurate description of what's happening. The majority of the global population, apparently people who support Russia's effort to stop NATO warmongering. I don't believe that's true at all. If it is, I need a source on that. Not to mention the facts are clear. Russia has tried to bring peace through countless avenues. Minsk means to SMO and peace program. Which is interesting. If they were interested in bringing peace to the region, then why would they violate the Minsk protocols twice over? Michael, do you honestly believe that the West and its military-industrial complex has given Russia the option to not defend itself? Yeah, actually. Before Russia officially invaded Ukraine, there were multiple requests by the White House to bring about peace through negotiations or diplomatic reasons, or diplomatic, ways of resolving the issues or whatever, which Russia ignored. Russia must carry on to SMO. So, okay, yeah, got it. Supporting Russia's anti-war. That's an interesting take. That's kind of like saying supporting Nazi Germany's anti-war, because if you support Nazi Germany, then the war will end quicker because they'll take all the territory that they want faster. So yeah. Russia isn't battling the West or Ukraine. It's deeper than that. They are defeating absolute evil. It's a really weird way of appealing to a meta reality. There's like, this is like an unfalsifiable thing, because like it's almost on par with like religious fundamentalist thinking, because you can't like, there's like nothing to challenge it. This is like a ethereal like thing that he's describing. He's describing something as absolute evil. What? Okay, which is embodied by the West or Ukraine. I don't know. This is the last war against humanity. Russians are the only people who found it in their hearts to defend the truth. This means nothing. This doesn't mean anything. Of course, I endorsed Russia's military response to the war, but the war was not started by Russia. According to your line of thinking, I imagine you also believe that Stalin started World War II. This is responding to Michael Tracy, so I don't know. Which is weird, because Michael Tracy's, like, pro-Russia. What else? Man, he talks a lot about this. Supporting Russia's anti-war. I think he said that already. Yeah, he actually has. Okay. Oh, this is the same tweet. Okay, whatever. Hinkle's trying very hard to gaslight about the definition of anti-war. We'll see about that. Supporting Russia's anti-war. Russia isn't battling the... Wait, we already went over this. It was dumb the first time. It's dumb the second time. It's now dumb the third time. Hinkle... Wait, is this like a video? No, it's not. Okay, got it. Here is embracing pro-Putin rally. It should be crystal clear that the rally is he himself is going to speak is also pro-Putin. So basically, all the people that have been brought forth to the Rage Against the War Machine rally thing are all pro-Putin and anti-Ukraine. And have really shady histories. And have in fact, some ties to RT, so... Okay...
Treated it good. I remember when I was younger, it's like the TV shows and the cartoons talked about, you know, the golden rule, treating others the way you want to be treated, good life principles, stuff like that, you know, lessons from the Bible. And now we have all white people are bad and they owe me money based upon something I have no knowledge about. And I must have missed in that song. I didn't hear them talking about.
This is an interesting thing to say as a leftist, a quote-unquote lefty. Yeah, I don't know. That's, this is literally just reactionary framing.
Good life principles, stuff like that, you know, lessons from the Bible. And now we have all white people are bad and they owe me money based upon something I have no knowledge about. And I must have missed in that song. I didn't hear them talking about how, you know, when we brought the slaves over here, there was active slave trades in Africa that we actually purchased them from, but...
Yeah, so this is conservative, like, reactionary logic, because nobody is saying that all white people are bad or evil or whatever. That's never been a talking point among the left. Maybe some anarchists, because they're pretty crazy. But yeah, I think broadly speaking, the left is not adopting the prescription that all white people are literally bad, evil subhumans. So yes, that is a reason why this is like reactionary logic. Jackson uses blood and soil. Ah, yeah, this is a very common thing.
I don't care if Russia wins or Ukraine. I want that the.
Don't you think that's like disrespectful to your own blood and soil to say you don't care if Russia wins?
I say you.
What? Dude, you have to be a little more subtle, man. Jesus Christ. Blood and soil is a nationalist slogan expressing Nazi Germany's ideal of a racially defined national body united with the settlement area, soil. By it, rural and farm life forms are idealized as a counterweight to urban ones. It is tied to the contemporaneous German concept of, the belief that the German people were expanding to Europe, conquering. Oh, so it's like literally like, well, not literally, but it seems similar to the logic that one would employ if they wanted to conduct imperialism. So it's interesting that Jackson Hinkle has expressed the fact that it is anti-war to be pro-Russia, when not only did they start the war, but they did so on the grounds of blood and soil logic, which Putin himself has admitted to, and also Hinkle seems to be alluding to himself. So it's like a cascade of contradictions here. I mean, the common denominator, of course, is American diabolism, and it always will be, because these people hate America more than they like Russia.
Part of an attempt to cancel me. There's people sharing all these clips out of context over the weekend. Yeah, you do have a lot of dumb fucking things you've said, and people clip it together because you are a dumbass. You know, some of the clips that were I stand by everything I said. I stand by everything I said.
Okay, I don't really care about this. Oh, damn, okay. Just because, okay, whatever. Average rally attendee, what? Okay. Oh yeah, Jill Stein's there, too. I've heard some, like, some sussy-wussy stuff about Jill Stein. Of course, Jimmy Dore's there, not surprising. Okay, is that it? Russian IS funds these events with crowdsourced donors, aka cutouts. Wait, is that true? Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if that's true, but wow. Oh, look at this framing, by the way. The Ukraine war. Ah, shit. This framing is so weird. It'd be like if it's like when Nazi Germany invaded Poland, and then like there was like a rally to support Nazi Germany and like their conquest for land and shit, and then they framed it as the Polish War. Amazing. Okay. Is that it? Do we want to look at a video? Because I don't really want to. Oh, that's Norfolk Southern. Okay. Biden says Trump is really the president. Okay, whatever. Cool beans. Man, I need to drink more water. Okay. I don't know. I saw North Korea trending. I figured I'd just take a quick glance, but I don't feel like digging through that. Alright. The other thing I did want to discuss, or look at, was, no, not that. This right here. So, supposedly, alright, there's a study, and I'm not going to be able to play this video for the sake of copyright, but there is apparently a study among 65 countries which stated that natural immunity is as good or better than the vaccine, or that is the way it was described by Bill Maher. So now I'm interested in looking that up. So we'll open this up. That was 2021, a little too long ago. Oh, okay, so this might be the study that they're referring to. Okay, let's just take a look at these two really quick. I wish they would say like what the study was, because that's important here. A large real world, not a fake world, a real world study finds COVID-19 vaccination more effective than natural immunity in protecting against all causes of death, hospitalization, and emergency department visits. Interesting. And this one states new study indicates natural immunity offers greater protection. So these are contradicting each other? And they came out like around the same time? No, this came out before this one, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's just read this, because this is the claim that I would like to be substantiated. A new study published in the New England Journal of Medicine is backing up claims that natural immunity provides greater protection from COVID-19 infection than multiple vaccine doses. Natural immunity wins again. John Hopkins, Dr. Martin. Hold on. Martin Makary? So this person let's look just a little. I need to do my due diligence, so I need to see what this person. So they're followed by Sagar, Ben Shapiro, and Ryan Grimm. So all conservatives here. This person retweets, why would Pfizer rush to petition the FDA in a week before the election to change their clinical trial protocol and avoid 32 case interim? This is referring to things I have no knowledge of. The totality of data has been proven wrong. Public health officials and the medical group think. Yeah, that's kind of sussy here. Natural immunity, first observed during the 430 BC. Okay, that's irrelevant. Worked against COVID severe illness. Wait, severe disease. What? COVID. Oh, okay. The totality of data has proven wrong. Public health officials and the medical group think, just as it did in their dogma that myocarditis was more common after COVID infection than after the vaccine. Wait, so this was never the initial claim. And also the fact that this person is framing it as a dogma is weird to me. That's actually very weird. As a supposed practicing physician, that is weird to describe it that way. And also, myocarditis is... There is a greater risk of you developing myocarditis if you contract COVID-19 unvaccinated than if you did after receiving vaccination. This is an objective fact of reality. There have been studies done on this, even preceding when this person had tweeted this, which is very recently, actually today. Is that so? That is today, yeah. So this is just factually incorrect. There have been multiple studies. It's not just one that this person is listing here. It's multiple studies here. And also the group that is most at risk for developing myocarditis are young men after their second dose of the vaccine. That's another important caveat to include. What else does this person share? Oh, they're sharing the Bill Maher thing. Cool. This person keeps referring to groupthink, which is also weird. This person is really pushing forth the natural immunity angle. Oh, damn. This is being cited even by the Blaze. So that's a red flag, because the Blaze is very far right. Okay, let's keep reading here. Where's the humility of public health officials to simply say, we got this so wrong? That's a very weird... Also, this is a weird thing to say, because this indicates to me that this person is more concerned about the narrative being propagated that natural immunity is winning out, as opposed to the validity of the scientific evidence. Did this person directly contribute to the findings of these studies they're citing? Because if so, then that's a conflict of interest as well. Many lives were ruined, credibility was lost, tragically vaccines were rationed for those with natural immunity, as non-immune seniors died clamoring to get them. Wait, hold on. Many lives were ruined, credibility was lost, and tragically vaccines were rationed to those with natural immunity. Why? Wait, what? That doesn't make sense. As non-immune seniors died clamoring to get them. Well, vaccines are useful for people who are in high-risk demographics, so some of them were probably going to die? Yeah? There's a lot of people on the planet. The study indicates that immune response elicited from COVID-19 infection was higher than that elicited from a second dose of COVID-19 vaccine. So, based on what though? This is a conclusion. So what substantiated that evidence? Among persons who had previously infected with SARS-CoV-2, regardless of whether they had received any dose of vaccine or whether they had received one dose before or after infection, protection against reinfection decreased as the time increased since the last immunity conferring event. Well, that makes sense. Because more people were getting the vaccine, so there was less people... Yeah, that makes sense. But they're drawing upon the wrong conclusion, it seems. However, this protection was higher than that conferred after the same time had elapsed since recipient of a second dose of vaccine among previously uninfected persons. Study after study have shown that natural immunity after COVID infection is superior to vaccine immunity. Was this the same person? No, this is something different. Okay. Study after study. So, wait, hold on. Let's look. I was getting sussy vibes from the other person, but I want to see what this person is as well. If college bureaucrats aren't willing to end their reckless and outdated COVID-19 policies now, parents will shift their support to colleges that do. So, citing New York Post articles. Okay, that's not a good sign either. Yeah. Vaccine injured Grills versus censoring class scientists of Harvard, of Stanford. Wait, this person suffers chest pains and asthma from injuries of COVID vaccine? Is that even like a known side effect? I want to know, I gotta figure this out. Millions of people around the world have been vaccinated against COVID-19. Most people experience mild or no side effects on vaccination. Several side effects are rare for the three COVID vaccines approved in the United States. Currently, the latest scientific evidence suggests that people with asthma are not at an elevated risk of developing side effects from COVID-19 vaccines. So, wait, no, they're not even claiming this, though. This person might have already been experiencing asthma, but they're implying, it seems, that there was an elevated additional, effect of their asthma as a product of the COVID vaccine. This is contrary to what this is suggesting right here. What source specifically? This is from the FDA. When was this published? 2020? It's a little outdated. Unless there is new evidence supporting this, I can't accept just hearsay, you know? More health authorities, including Centers for Disease Control, CDC, recommend that people with asthma get vaccinated. When was this article published, anyway? Okay, it's fine. It must have been after the vaccine. Yeah, because if you develop, because COVID is like a disease that affects your breathing, well, your lungs, whatever. And I feel like if you have asthma, the consequences of getting COVID-19 unvaccinated are going to be far worse than if you did after vaccination. That makes sense to me. Okay. Can the COVID-19 vaccine worsen asthma symptoms? Well, some people have anecdotally reported worsening asthma symptoms after receiving COVID-19 vaccine. Current scientific evidence hasn't found a clear link between asthma and an increased risk of side effects. This is 2021 case study. A single person with severe asthma experienced worsening symptoms following the second dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. However, researchers were not able to definitively establish a cause and effect relationship and were unable to draw conclusions based on a single case study. More research is needed to determine if any relationship exists. So right now, we actually don't have any evidence to suggest that there is a correlative relationship between asthma or the worsening of asthma symptoms and the COVID-19 vaccine. Instead, this person is retweeting, this person that we were initially looking at, is retweeting a editorialized recount of an exchange between this person here and somebody who is supposedly receiving asthma, worsening asthma, as a product of the COVID vaccine. That doesn't bode well necessarily for this person's credibility. They're also incidentally followed by conservatives. Okay. Is there anything else here that is sussy-wussy? Cross-ideological coalition of scientists, physicians... This person really is pushing... America needs a trustworthy public health establishment. Okay, I'm sorry, but I don't know how much I can trust this person. I'm getting the sussy levels are above, on a scale of 1 to 10, are above 6 to me. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I cannot accept this person as reliable. New England Journal of Medicine study also touches on the term known as hybrid immunity, that immunity obtained from both previous infection and recipient of a vaccine. So herd immunity isn't like something that is like made up. I don't want to make the claim that it is, because it's not. But the COVID vaccine is effective. It just is. This seems more like a way of downplaying the efficacy of the vaccine itself, as opposed to stating, like, hey, just natural immunity is better. Because when you say stuff like that, you're implying that the vaccine is ineffective when it's not, and also that it is probably better for you to just not get the vaccine at all. Again, that is bad advice. You should definitely get the vaccine if you can. Some laboratory studies have indicated that hybrid immunity offers greater broad spectrum... Wait, this is a quote. Who's saying this? Offers greater broad spectrum protection, elicits higher levels of neutralizing antibodies, and provides greater protection against infection than immunity conferred by vaccination or infection alone. That is a really bold claim, man. I just don't know how they derive these conclusions. But critics are struggling to agree with that the vaccine dose does not anything to promote a greater immune response in those who are previously infected. Worth pointing out that Figure 3 is a bit deceiving at first glance and makes hybrid immunity appear more protective against infection, but if you compare the same for one dose plus recovered doesn't have a sig fewer infections than recovered. And data don't go out 4 to 8 months for 3 doses. That's interesting. And this is its response to that person that we were just going over. This person, right here. Okay. Some hold that natural immunity does not carry across variants and its protection is far weaker than proponents claim. Yeah, so the end of the story here is that you should still get the vaccine. And the people who are propagating natural immunity as a viable alternative are probably doing so based upon political motivations more than maybe anything else. There are probably some people who legitimately believe in the efficacy of natural immunity over vaccination, but those people, interestingly, are followed by conservatives and also are pushing forth unscientific claims. So, okay. And this study here, this is a real-world study comparing effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccine versus natural immunity, protecting against death, hospitalizations, and emergency department visits. The lower death rate of vaccinated individuals was especially impressive for adults ages 60 and older. The all-cause death and hospital admission rates for vaccinated individuals were 37% lower than the rates of those who were with natural immunity. The all-cause death and hospital admission rates for vaccinated people were 37% lower than the rates for those with natural immunity acquired from previous COVID infection. The rate of ED visits were, for all causes, was 24% lower for vaccinated individuals than the previously infected. And this is a large population across, I guess, all regions of the planet. This large population study, the entire state of Indiana should encourage. Oh, this is okay. Individuals everywhere to get themselves and their children vaccinated, not rely on natural immunity. Yes. While the incidence of COVID infection was higher, the vaccine recipients than in individuals previously infected, the vaccine protected against severe disease, while natural immunity did not confer the same benefit. Vaccinated individuals were more likely to actually. So wait, okay. So basically, vaccines are good. We all knew that, okay? And natural immunity isn't like natural immunity is not something that we ought to rely on. I agree with both of those statements, especially with something like COVID-19. This man over here, Bill Maher, a supposed liberal and pro-science person, I guess, is stating the opposite. He is stating that 65 countries were studied and natural immunity were as good, if not better, than the vaccine. What the fuck study is referring to? Like, what study is referring to? I really want to know this. And I can't even play it because of fucking copyright shit. Hold on, maybe I'll find an article. Bill Maher. No, hold on. Bill Maher vaccine. I don't know. Maybe I probably will not be able to find this. Oh, this is from a while ago. Bill Maher loses trust in medical professionals. I don't think I'll be able to find it. Interesting. I wish that, like, I knew the study they were referring to. The only one that I could have approximated was the one that we just went over, and it cited people who were followed by conservatives and also were pushing information in an editorialized fashion, as well as retweeting things that were inaccurate, scientifically inaccurate. So anyway, look, the moral of the story is kind of a couple things, I guess. One, this statement from Dr. Peterson, or maybe former doctor, I don't know if his license was ever revoked, is pretty dumb, because fake immunity is not a thing. That's not, like, real. Like, fake immunity is just, like, a pejorative way of describing vaccination itself, which vaccinations are good and have benefited humanity broadly. And Bill Maher stating that he's apparently citing a study which I can't find, and it's citing information that is broadly by the scientific community has been deemed inaccurate. So I don't know what to make. I mean, I guess the moral is that Bill Maher is conservative. I mean, he seems to align himself quite a bit with conservative talking points and framing and shit like that. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised he's dabbling in the anti-vax shit. I mean, in a way, this kind of is anti-vax, because, like, the implication behind this is that you should not get the vaccine, or at the very least that you don't need to get the vaccine, because natural immunity is just as effective, if not better. This is bad, harmful things to to state to a person, especially a high-risk group, I think the best thing you should do is do your own research about the vaccine and then consult with your doctor and then make a judgment from there on. But broadly speaking, I believe that the vaccine is effective. It has been proven effective by multiple studies. It is safe, and it's probably the best idea to get it as opposed to relying on natural immunity. So, that is what I have to say, I guess. All right. I think we're about wrapped up here. I said before that I was gonna make this a short stream, and I did. Hopefully. Oh, this is interesting. The guy that we were just going over, that, like, Morty person who is being cited repeatedly in that article about, that guy is also retweeting conservatives and conservative politicians. He retweeted J.D. Vance. Yeah, this is not a reliable person. This guy is also here. Also retweeting the same kinds of people who also happen to agree with his prescriptions regarding natural immunity, and these same people also happen to be followed by conservatives. So, I don't know why he was citing this. This is so fucking stupid. Since, like, the 430 BC, people have been relying on natural immunity. It's like, yeah, no fucking shit, dude. They had no vaccines back in 430 BC. Anyway, I don't know. Okay, yeah, whatever. There's a lot of, like, scientific shit being described here. The myth that marketers was more common after COVID than after the vax was propagated by the medical establishment with poor studies, vax associated myocarditis, and a low capture methodology. Hundreds of thousands of young people got marketers for no good reason. New day. Wait, what? Dude, I don't know if I want to, like, go, like, belly flop into this, like, rabbit hole here. Wait, there was a total of 530. Wait, how many participants were there in this study? 530 were vaccinated? Yeah, we all knew that the younger demographic was higher risk, and specifically men. That's why these numbers look about the same. Also, there's been more people who have taken the vaccine, so that's another reason why the numbers are larger, or look larger. I don't think this tells the whole story, though. Diagnosis of heart failure. Vaccination 22, COVID-19 12. Is this, like, controlled for like, the number of people who had received the vaccination? Because there's been over 11 billion doses of the vaccine administered around the world. So, wouldn't it stand to reason that more people have become vaccinated than not? So the number of people who might have developed heart issues, I guess, would be greater than the unvaccinated? Okay. I don't know. I will admit I'm not a, whatever. I'm not a fucking medical doctor. Okay, this is like a long shit that we would be going down. Alright, I don't feel like doing it right now. Alright, anyway, I do have to go, but, thank you guys for watching. I will probably not stream until Saturday. So I will see you guys then. Take care.